I have a dream.
It's one small step for man.
I am the greatest.
You want something, go get it. Period.
What was that?
It's weird, bro. Usually I'm the one that's setting this all up. I'm putting the volume up and everything. I'm the one doing the interview.
Yeah. I would love to talk about how you run interviews too. Cause I do, dude, you are super active with you get such high profile names. We can even start there. Like, how do you get those names? Is it like using the St. John name itself? Like,
I don't know, man. At a young age, I was just always taught to come from like a professional angle. You know what I mean? Like if you come from a fanboy angle and you're just like, oh my God, I love you, this and that, like people don't really like that. They like to just be treated as like they're just a regular person, because at the end of the day, they are regular people. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So no, I just always come like from a professional angle and just, make sure, because I know that once they come onto my radio show, once they come onto my campus, I'm responsible for everything that happens. So if a student comes up and like, does something crazy, it's on me. So I have to make sure that from the moment they step onto campus and from when they leave the studio, that everything goes well. So I always just do it like that, man. And fortunately, Anthony, man, I have a good reputation, like in the city and stuff like that. People say like, oh, you've been to Marco's show at St. John's, and it's just a reputation that goes a long way. Thank God, man. And fortunately, I've been able to grow my show. Have some high profile like artists and celebrities and stuff, but.
Yeah.
I'm trying to just branch on more from just music. I want to get into entertainment, comedy, stuff like that, because then that broadens my audience and everything. Like right now, I'm very focused and narrowed down onto hip hop and music, and I want to open up a little more, So.
Yeah, you gotta start somewhere, and I mean, you're in the great spot to do that, and that was your focus. I mean, with DJing, but then you knew that sector so well, so start with what you know. Yeah, but I was gonna say as well, like. I thought of the one thing, reputation through repetition. Like you have to put in your reps in order to build up your name. Like what was that like when you did St. John's? Because you had a little bit beforehand in high school, SJR. You did it a lot, but you probably had to start anew when you got into a new place.
Oh man, yeah.
Right? St. John's? Yeah.
It's that's actually a really good question, to be honest. I've never been asked that before, but I feel like at St. John's, obviously, we went to high school together, so it's like I had to brand myself to everybody. You know what I mean? I had to tell everybody I'm a DJ. If you need a DJ, I can provide those services for you. But at St. John's in college, man, it's like a whole different animal. In school, it's like everybody's a DJ. Everybody does something with music. And that's when I realized, like, how do I become that main DJ that's always hired? How do I become that DJ that represents the school in the most professional ways possible? How do I become that go-to DJ? And I realized that, marketing has to do with a lot of it. Investing in yourself, man. Investing in yourself is so important. People, come up to me sometimes. They're like, "Hey, can you listen to my music?" And the first thing I look at is to see if they have their songs on Apple Music or Spotify, because then that means that they invested in themselves. They're taking this seriously.
Yeah.
How do you post it for free? But if you're serious about your work, you put it on all these different platforms, you know what I mean? So everybody can listen to it. But to go back onto the DJ track, man, it's like I had to open up a whole new chapter and restart everything all over again. And I was never the type of DJ to do house parties. Not that I'm too good for that, but I always like staying in a professional setting, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you probably had your style as well. You knew what you liked.
Yeah, exactly. So oh man, I networked with people. I showed them, my resume and stuff like that. And one day, man, I remember I was in class and I got a call and they're like, "Hey, listen, a DJ just canceled for one of the women's volleyball games." I'm like, "Oh, I don't want to do a volleyball game. I want to do a basketball game." You know what I mean? And I was like, you know what? I left class. I got my turntable in my room and I was there at the arena. And when I walked in, I was like, holy cow, like this is my turn now, And like people started seeing me, DJing at the games and stuff, and that's how I kind of gained my notoriety on campus, and yeah, man, that's it. Everything so far has just been a blessing, Just you have to promote yourself the right way, you have to network with the right people, and you really just like you have to take advantage of the moment. Like if I feel like if I would have blew that moment at the volleyball game, they would not have called me back again. So you just have to prepare yourself for every moment, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that I was gonna say, like, the opportunity came and you prepared, and that's what they say, like, quote unquote, where luck come from. It's like preparation, opportunity meet.
Exactly.
Right? So yeah, you create your own luck. You're like creating your own destiny. And as we talked to before, like you
Mhm.
like you can't count on anyone else to make the life you wanna live. You can't let anyone else live out your dreams or make your dreams for you. Like you can't,
Definitely.
in terms of like we were talking about jobs and stuff. So you're creating your own path, and you've been doing that for a while now.
Hmm.
For a while now.
Yeah, it's you know, I feel like the industry I want to get into, there's a very small window for it. And I feel like if I just go along with the path that everyone else goes along with, the internship route, you know, you do all these different programs for these companies, and then 2 months you leave. It's like, you know, obviously you learn different things at, you know, that organization, that company, whatever it is. But at the end of the day, it's always good to have your own side hustle. It's always good to prove to people that, hey, you had that artist on your morning show. Well, at nighttime at 8 o'clock, I had him on my show as well. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
like I know at all these big radio stations and stuff like that, they have different teams to help with booking the artist, making sure that, you know, the artist has his cookies, his waters, everything in the studio, security teams, everything, man. But in college, you have to do everything yourself.
Mm.
Everything from cooking to laundry to, you know, you spill something on the floor, you got to pick the shit up. Like, like no one's gonna do it for you, man. Like you have to do it all yourself. And you know, college, my first year was a really big wake up call, and I realized that I wanted to bridge the gap between college radio and professional radio, because the problem is, man, is that if you have an artist that comes to New York City, he knocks out all these different radio shows. Why can't he come to college radio? You know what I mean? Why does he have to charge me?
Demographic too, like all those younger kids. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, as an artist, wouldn't you want to appeal to the people that are listening to your music? Yeah, because if you think of it, kids that are, you know, it's like the teens and then up to like 25 years old, that's who's controlling and breaking artists right now. That's who's listening to all these different artists. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And like for example, TikTok, man, a lot of these artists were able to have a job right now because of TikTok. A lot of those songs are corny, but don't get me wrong, like they're hits for TikTok. You know what I mean? So I feel like the youth, you know, helps control music, and a lot of these artists have, you know, college listeners that are really fans of their music. So I'm trying to just bridge that gap to say, hey, listen, if you come and you knock out Good Morning America, you go to, you know, a radio show in the morning, you do some afternoon work, TV work, why can't you come at nighttime to a college radio station? Why do you have to charge them for that? You know what I mean? So fortunately, like, I've been able to kind of bridge that gap a little bit and set it up for the people behind me and show people like, hey, listen, if I have X, Y, and Z on my show, you could have the same caliber person, you know, on your show as well. You just have to come from a professional angle. Like, that's literally it, man. That's my advice that I always tell people, you know.
That's awesome. I love that so much. And I was gonna say, what was one of the harder things when building that bridge and doing that to lay the foundation for others? Like, what would you, aka advice on the hardest thing?
Just not letting really people take advantage of you. You know, it's unfortunate sometimes, like, people see that I'm young and they think that, you know, they could throw in a little wrench in there, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And it's just like, wait, I don't know, man. It's just, I feel like, yeah, no, you have to know how to deal with management, you know? You have to show people why, you know, it's worth their time coming to your platform, you know, a lot, because I'm not saying that my competitors are all these other different radio stations or whatever it is. I don't really try to think about competition, because if I think about my competition, then I'm focused on them and I'm not focused on me. So I try to just focus on, you know, my show and you know, speak to the management the right way, show them why it's worth their time coming here. And like I said before, man, it's really the reputation factor that is so important, because in New York, in the entertainment industry, everybody knows everybody. Like I go to these events and I see the same faces. And I'm like, wow, you know, you have to really study the industry that you want to get into. because you could walk past somebody one day that's all by themselves, and they could be the head of whatever it is. You know what I mean? Or the head of a record label, the head of a manager for a huge artist, and you just have to study the game. Studying the game is so important. Just like Michael Jordan studied the game, just like Tom Brady studied the game, you have to study the game. It's not, it doesn't just pertain to sports. It pertains to everything. You know what I mean? So
Exactly.
that's my advice to people, is just study the game, and always be professional. People love professionalism. Once you slack off a little bit, they see that hole and they're like, all right, it's done. You know?
Yep. Yeah. I love that so much, bro. It resonates on so many levels because doing my own thing, I see where that comes from. It's also like when I do interviews, I do the doing the homework part, as you alluded to with researching your industry. Like, you know more about the person than they know about themselves. It goes a long way. You know, it really does.
It looks good too, man. It looks good when you do your research. You know what I mean? When you do your research and someone's like, wait, how do you know that? It looks good, bro.
They're taking it back. It's different. Yeah. But I was going to ask, with sort of going back to the roots, right? Like, you establish yourself, and its reputation takes many, many years to build. But I saw you got into the Recording Academy, which is a really big accomplishment for you. I was wondering, like, and this will make sense into the next question. It's cool how this is flowing, but like, your drive really comes from, I didn't know about your grandfather with like his music. So that I would love for you to talk about that sort of like roots to then getting here, which will lead into what I'll talk about next.
Yeah, it's a good question, man. My grandfather, I actually, we weren't really close at all.
Did you ever meet him?
I got to meet him later in life, but unfortunately, you know, he passed away, and I didn't really get to know him as much as I wanted to. It was more through his works. I apologize for the ring. It's more through his works and stuff like that. So I want to say he passed away like 3-4 years ago. It was my birthday weekend. I remember I turned 18. My parents, they surprised me. They're like, Marco, I know you always wanted to go to Miami. Let's go down to Miami. And we went for the weekend, and we drove up to Orlando because he lived in Orlando in Florida. And before we were leaving on a Monday, so we visited him on a Saturday or Sunday, I believe it was. I forget. But it was like a really big birthday present for me too, because I've always wanted to meet him. He had a really big background in music. He wrote lots of different, Latin songs for really big composers, and man, from the instrumentals to the lyrics, like, he did it all. He received a Latin award called an OTI. It's I forget what it stands for, but it's a really prestigious award that you can receive, in the Latin world. So I remember I walked in. He was dying. He wasn't doing well, and I walked into the hospital, and like, people were saying like, "Hey, listen, guys, I don't think he's gonna make it when you guys come here." And I remember I was listening to music on the way, and I was praying like, I just want to see his face. Like, I just want to meet him. I want to talk to him a little more. And the year before that, his birthday is actually July 4th, which is crazy. It's actually kind of crazy. And the year before that, I got to meet him, and I was at his house. We spoke briefly, and then a couple years later, I ended up walking in with my family. And my mom was crying and everything. It was just like we met a bunch of family in the room. It was a really like crazy moment, man. And I remember I was talking to him, and he was like unconscious. He was on a life support. He was in his deathbed basically. And I was like, listen, I know you waited for me. Like, I know you waited. And I told him, I was like, listen, go in peace. Like, I'm gonna get you that Grammy award, because I always heard from his stepson and from my mother that he's always wanted to win a Grammy award. He's always wanted a Grammy. Like, his life will be complete if he just gets a Grammy. And it's amazing on how, my aspirations and my goals kind of intertwine with what he did in life as well. So I remember I grabbed his hand and I said, I'm going to get you that award. I said, I'm going to get you that freaking award. I said, it's going to take a long time, but trust me, like, I know you're going to be looking up. And like, it was really emotional and stuff, man. And I'm a man of my word, man. I've been trying it really hard. And I want to say in the beginning of the summertime, I was given I said summertime. I want to say like 2 months ago, I was given like an amazing opportunity. I looked up the Grammys and stuff like that. I said, how can I get involved, man? I want to go to the Grammy Awards. I want to experience it. You know what I mean? It's all part of the studying the game, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I signed up for something online, and they didn't get back to me. And I was like, damn. So I happened to network with a good friend. His name is Tim Terrain. He's actually a part of the Recording Academy. He said, Marco, you know, I think it'll be really amazing if you get a part of this program. I said, man, I actually I signed up, but unfortunately they didn't see my application. That next Friday, I get a call. Hey, Marco, we want to interview you. You know, see what you could do for us. And you know, I told them about, you know, my college following in the city, my passion for music, the stuff that I'd done. I sent them my resume. Through the next day, a Saturday, I get an email around like 1 o'clock saying, Marco, congratulations, you're a part of the Recording Academy. And I, man, like, bro, like, I fell to the ground, man. I couldn't believe it, you know, because throughout my whole time in school, I haven't done one internship. I haven't, you know, been a part of any organization or anything, man. And for the Recording Academy to give me my first opportunity, man, like, and it happens to be what my grandfather wants. It was an amazing moment, man. And it really just motivated me to do more. I just want to, I don't want to just motivate, you know, myself. I want to motivate the people around me as well, man, to show you that I'm 21 years old. You know, I fortunately, I do have some good stuff on my resume, and I just want to keep growing. But like people like yourself, people that, like the people around me, everyone could do that same thing. You know what I mean? And the reason why I love looking at your Instagram and your stuff on Twitter and everything, man, is because you created your own platform as well. You know what I mean? You've created different channels, different opportunities for other people. And like, that's absolutely amazing, man. I love stuff like that.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. Well, for one, it goes the other way too. Like it's funny you brought that up. I was going to bring up a tweet next, but we'll get to that. But also, dude, like, big congrats, and it's amazing how that's all playing out. It's as you said before, like, you're creating your own destiny, and it's also in line with, which is really amazing, the roots of your family. And it's also awesome you got to meet your grandfather one more time and see him. You know, so that's phenomenal. But dude, the one thing I wanted to bring up was you tweeted the other day and you said,
Twitter's crazy, man. I apologize.
No, talk about volume of content. You're putting it out there, man. That's what we need.
Oh man.
But you said the best teachers in life are hungry stomachs, empty pockets, and broken hearts.
Yeah, I thought about that in the morning. I was like, you know what? Those really are the best principles in life, man. Like when you're in college, when I was in college hungry, I realized I don't hustle. If I don't go out there and make money, I can't feed myself because I canceled my meal plan. I couldn't do the meal plan route anymore, man. Like the food was just, it wasn't that good. I realized like I have to hustle. Like, yeah, you know, thankfully I have, you know, two amazing parents. I have a good foundation, good supporting system at home. But my father always instilled in me, man, like, you know, in order to get what you want in life, you have to work for it. Everything comes with a price. So I said, you know, hungry stomachs. I forget what else I said. I said two more things. I forget what it was.
Hungry stomach, empty pockets, and broken hearts.
Empty pockets is just self-explanatory, and that's what it is, man. Like it's just it's all about hustling. It's all about just doing it at all different times of the day. Because I always think like there's another kid that's my age, someone that's a couple years older than me, that's just going 10 times harder than I am.
Yeah.
And you know, this whole coronavirus thing, it teaches you a lot. It really teaches you a lot.
That's the exact epitome of that. Like right now, people are hungry, like they're desperate in certain ways financially. Like they probably have broken hearts. People are not talking to each other as much. Like relationships are probably fading for the better. But yeah, it's like we're literally living through that, and it's probably because maybe like the quarantine coronavirus inspired that tweet a little bit, and maybe that's just in general how you think as well. Which is, yeah, dude. Because like, I'm sure like when, I don't know much about the origin story of like your grandfather, but I'm sure, did he immigrate to America or was it like
Yeah, he was from he was from Ecuador. He immigrated to America. He had like several marriages. You know, that's one of the reasons why I wasn't as close to him, because he was like it's kind of weird. He was like a step grandfather. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, yeah. So like he had many marriages, many kids. And you know, man, like I live over here, like up in the tri-state area. He lives in Florida, so it was really hard to kind of get to know him, communicate with him. But in his last 3 years of life, that's when I did my research. And when I realized that this is what I want to do in life, and when people were telling me like, oh, you know, you have a grandfather and, you know, some of his traits, you know, spill onto you. Like, what do you mean? Like, what do you, like, talk to me about him. And my mom would talk to me about him. Like, dude, I would spend the whole Thursday night just talking to my mom, like for hours, like her just telling me, showing me different stories, showing me his lyrics. And I'm like, oh my God. So when I got to have a conversation with him, his birthday before he died, it was his final birthday. He told me like, yeah, I've always wanted to have a Grammy, but I could never get it. Like it was hard as hell to get that. And I could never get it, you know? And I was like, listen, I don't know how the hell I'm going to get a Grammy, but I said, I'm going to get it for you. Somehow, some way, in some form, I will get you a Grammy. You know what I mean? If it's not a musical Grammy, if so long as it's from the Recording Academy, it's considered a Grammy.
Yeah. Exactly. Because I bring that up because like that, like it goes from, it's probably like, I resonate too because my generational line came from, they're immigrants from Italy and other parts of the world, but they were lower class, and like you build your way up. But it's like, you know, the empty pockets, the broken hearts, and just that feeling of being desperate, like being in the dirt, it motivates you beyond belief. And that's what they say, like adversity creates success. Like those things, you experience the bottom of the well, so nothing can get worse than the bottom compared to most people. So everything up is just like a major blessing, and it's just a major achievement for not only you, but your family as well. So that like creates more of the drive. And that's why, especially during this quarantine, is when a lot of people will rise up that are meant to rise up. And then post quarantine is when like you'll see like a boom of good businesses, good artists, like people like yourself, building their own thing, making their own platforms, because they know what this stuff feels like and they thrive in the discomfort. You know, your best friend is like your best friend is the discomfort, and you do well with that, you know.
Yeah, man. Like a lot of that just goes to my dad too. Like he taught me a lot of different things in life. And like I said, man, 2020 has been the biggest wake up call of my life. You know,
Blessing in disguise.
You know, like there's been, you know, just so many like different things that have happened in 2020 where I'm just like, wow, you know. And I realized that in life, you know, you don't have to always be in the mix. You don't always have to have like a lot of friends. You know, the smaller your network, the better it is. You know what I mean? Because you don't want people to turn on you or anything like that. But another point is that I realized earlier this week is that, you know, many people always strive to be in the same rooms as their idols. You know, people always work to say, oh, I want to be in the room one day with Elon Musk. I want to be in the room one day with Kanye West. I want to be in the room one day with, you know, whoever it is.
Yeah.
And when you get there in life, you know, because I've been in that point in my life where I've been in the room with many idols, and it's just like, all that person really says is, you know, oh, I'll call someone for you, or I'll refer you to someone, and then you leave the room and nothing really happens, you know. So my advice to people is, you know, work hard on yourself, know your network, study the game, and just network with everybody, and don't work hard to be next to somebody, you know, because they're in that position because they're their own selves. They were unique in their own way. So now it's time for me to be unique in my own way. You know, every DJ doesn't DJ the same. Every DJ has a different type of style of mixing. You know what I mean? When it comes to me DJing, I always like to have that interaction with the crowd. I don't play a song yet. I always talk to the crowd. I gain that chemistry with the crowd because the crowd, like, I need them to be on my side.
Yeah,
So,
that fuels
you know,
your play. Yeah.
Yeah, like I always try to interact with the crowd, you know, say something funny, break everybody out of that like discomfort zone that you mentioned. I don't want to dance first. Why do I have to dance first? You know, I don't want, you know what I mean? You
Yeah.
just have to break people out of that. Unfortunately, man, there's been a lot of DJs that have taken me under their wing and have said like, hey, listen, let me show you how to DJ this kind of party, and let me show you how to DJ this kind of party. You know what I mean? And like that kind of stuff started in high school. I remember Josh. Remember Josh?
Yeah.
He went. I remember Josh one day was like, "Hey Marco, I'm gonna take you down to East Orange, and I'm gonna show you how you DJ a house party." And I was like, "Josh, I don't specialize in house party." He goes, "Dude, you're a DJ. You DJ anything that you're given an opportunity to." And I was like, "He's right." Man, I went down to East Orange, and it was a whole different. I've never been to a house party before, and it was rowdy and it was crazy. And I was like, I need to have my crates curated for every different background, culture, whatever it is. You know, a DJ can't just play hip hop music. You're not a DJ. You have to be ready to play music for all ages, for all backgrounds, for everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why like people think being a DJ is just like touching a few buttons and that's it. Like it's not like that at all. You have to play it by ear. You have to look at your crowd. You have to keep the crowd going. You know what I mean? So
It's an art in and of itself.
yeah, definitely, man. Like DJ isn't just press and play and just like that. Like, I don't know why people think that. You know, I
No.
don't take it offensive. I think it's kind of funny, but it's just like there's so many different dynamics to DJing, and every DJ DJs differently, and I love that. I love that, man.
Yeah, and to that point, what you said before, I once heard something, I think Oprah mentioned it, but they said like having a brand isn't really the way it's connotated as. Like you shouldn't see like branding or having a brand as something other than yourself. It's just an embodiment, amplification of you. So like,
Exactly.
you do that well. You're just speaking your voice, you're being authentic, and especially with digital media, especially with social media nowadays, it all comes down to that authenticity. Truth always wins out, and people resonate with you as an individual. They can feel that. People in 2020, like, you have the culture canceling happening. Like, they know what true good energy feels like.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, as for yourself, there couldn't be any better advice for, those below us, those equal to us, and people above us who are doing it wrong. Like, just be yourself, and people.
Oh, you have to be yourself, man. You have to. You have to be yourself. Like you know,
Like you said, you find different ingredients, you learn different things
exactly,
in the game, you study, but then you make it your own.
exactly, man. You have to be yourself at all times because like you have to know that the people that you're speaking to that have so many years of just in the industry and doing what they're doing, they see right through that shit. Like when you're not yourself, when you're like all like on top of someone or all like just like acting really cool or, like they don't like that. When you're yourself, they love that stuff. And unfortunately, Anthony, like a lot of people tell me that this was a really cool interview, or oh, I was at X, Y, and Z radio station today, and I came here and they asked me crazy questions, and you just keep it cool, like like dancing in the studio and stuff like that. Like I asked them like, oh, there's a dance to your song. A lot of people are doing it, the wrong way, but I want to know how to do it the right way. And then
Yeah.
you start dancing. You know what I mean? Like you create that connection, you create that chemistry, and it's just like when I network with people, I don't want them to just be a high and buy. I don't want them to just be an industry friend. I want them to actually be, I want to create an organic relationship with somebody.
Mm.
And fortunately, I've been able to do that. When they put the number in my phone, you do the little things. You make sure that you wish them a happy birthday. You make sure that you wish them Merry Christmas, Easter, whatever it is, because those small things in life take you so far, like so far. And people have given me opportunities and just because I do the little things, man, like just showing that you care, showing that you don't care when you need them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I love that so much.
Nah, yeah, man. It's just like
That's straight
it's
facts.
just different stuff that I learned, man, throughout my 3 years in college, man. Like just that's what I learned is that you have to do the small things. You know what I mean? And those little small things are what take you far in life.
Those, yeah. You think about, I guess the ultimate goal for you would be that Grammy, or just like having your own platform, just being able to be your own person. Like you have that big thing, and it all comes down to these little things along the way. So I was gonna bring that up before. Like you have this big dream, but you reverse it, and you kind of engineer your way to get there. Obviously, you have a plan, but those little things are part of the ladder that get you to where you want to get to. Which I was gonna ask for the rest of 2020 and like onward, I know you can't predict the future, but you can plan what you want to do. So I was
Mhm.
gonna say, you know, what do you have plans to do going forward, and things you want to line up so that you can work your way up?
Uh, well, obviously, there's only one more year left of college, so definitely get into more internships. I don't want to say I want to step back a little bit from my own platform, but it's always good to have experience. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? And when you have experience in your own platform, that's good. But when you have experience working with others, teamwork, working in a different organization, that's also very good as well. So I would say like that is kind of my weakness in a way. But yeah, definitely focus more on internships. And another project I'm working on is I'm working with these 3 artists right now. It's one Latin artist, and I have one R&B artist and one pop mainstream artist. And I'm just helping them build their brand because I realize as a DJ, it's kind of hard to blow up playing other people's songs, scratching other people's songs. You know what I mean? So I kind of realized that like a DJ Khaled, he produces and he helps other artists, and I want to do that. I want that to be a part of my brand. So definitely, working with other artists and stuff like that. Building my show more, getting more high profile clients.
Mm.
And that's it, man. Like, fortunately, I've realized that, if you think of it, your dreams aren't really about you. And I'm going to explain that. The reason why I don't stop and the reason why I keep going is because I know that my parents, you know, our mothers have worked in the same company before. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? We come from the same background. We went to the same school backyard. We went to the same school, everything, man. And it's just like, how could we go to our parents and say, hey, mom and dad, I gave up. I gave up. You invested so much in my education. You sacrificed so much for me in my life. And my thank you to you is why I gave up. The people that believed in you, the people that invested their time in you, you're going back to them and you're giving them a slap in the face and say, yeah, I gave up. Nah, you can't do that, man. You have to just keep going. You know what I mean? Every journey is very hard. I thank God every day, man. And there's been stuff that's happened to me in my life. And it's just like, I'm happy that it happened now. And I'm happy that I learned that lesson now. And I'm happy that it didn't happen later in life. You know what I mean? So, yeah, man, like, you just got to keep going. And, your dreams aren't about you. They're about the people you're doing it for. And I'm doing this for my parents. I'm doing this for the people that believe in me and for the people around me that truly love me and that always support me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what keeps me going. I don't have 100 supporters. I don't have 50 supporters. I probably have a good 25 solid supporters that, are all about me and are always like congratulating me, everything. You know what I mean? Like people like yourself. You know what I mean? I'm not doing this just for myself. I'm doing it for good friends like you, man. You know what I mean? Because you never know that one day an opportunity might come up and I'm like, oh wait, I know someone for that position. Anthony. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just like
Exactly.
it's just like you can't give up. You can't give up because I can't imagine that one day I wake up and I'm like, mom, this DJing radio stuff, it isn't for me anymore. I wasted 4 years of life doing this, and it's just I gave up. That is the response you give. You can't, man. You can't. That's how I. That's how.
Regret, yeah. It's like regret is a driver, but also it's always bigger than just you. Always. It has.
Oh yeah. It's I mean, that's my ideology. Sometimes people look at me and like, wait, what do you mean? Like, bro, your dreams are about you. I'm like, wait, but who are you doing it for though? When you get your first big paycheck,
Exactly.
who are you gonna give it to? Like, oh, I'm gonna give it to my mom, my dad. All right, so your dreams, oh yeah, they're about you, but at the end of the day, they're about the people that you're doing it for. So that's my whole ideology about dreams and going hard, man. Like,
A great blueprint. Great blueprint. But I was gonna say, I mean, you continue to move strategically, but also in your own way. And it's so awesome to see you just be yourself. And everything we talked about is today is just an embodiment of who you are. And I think it's going to be awesome to see the continued growth. And we'll probably do another one of these and follow up and do some more things, some more videos.
yeah, of course, man. Let's do it.
Yeah, but I was gonna say, is there anything else you wanted to end with, like any other realizations? I know you mentioned one before. You had a realization during quarantine, or anything you wanted to cap off before we head out and continue to dream chase?
Uh,
Because there was a lot of golden gems. There's a lot of golden gems in this one, man. But
it was what I told you before the interview over the phone, man. This whole quarantine, this whole coronavirus thing, it teaches you in life you can't really rely on one source of money flow. You have to just build off and have different channels of money, different income of money. You know what I mean? To just rely on one source of capital, like that's, nobody saw this coronavirus thing coming. It came out of left field, and in 1 week the world changed. Everything was in lockdown, and like, shit was going down the hill, and you realize, like, oh my God, like, I have no job right now. I mean, for me as a DJ right now, like from May to July, this is like my hot season. Barbecues. I don't know why people always love to have, baby showers around this time. Baby showers, end of the year corporate events, stuff at at St. John's. And I realized, like, oh my God, like I need to be more of an entrepreneur. I need to, get into, another venture I want to get into is investing in companies, stocks, doing stuff like that. Because man, like it's 2020, and there's no reason why people don't have jobs nowadays and stuff like that. Like, yeah, there are different opportunities out there, but it's just what you do with your time. Every second right now is gonna affect your life later in life. You know what I mean? But if you use your time wisely right now and you create a solid, good foundation and you broaden your network, you'll be good in life. There's always gonna be that person that says, you know what? Hey, I need someone for something. Boom, come and help me do something. And another gem I want to drop before I leave. I know I'm talking way too much right now.
No, bro, never. No.
Follow
him on Twitter too.
Oh man, no man. It's just don't let money stop you from doing something. If someone gives you an opportunity, you take that and you run as fast as you can with it and as far as you can with it. I've been given many opportunities in life where I've had to DJ for 2-3 hours and I walk out with not 1 cent in my pocket. But I know that I just broadened my audience. I networked with a lot of people, and people got this. I exposed a talent that I had to many people, and people started realizing. So, man, thank God so far in this journey, everything's been a blessing. The coronavirus, it messed me up big time. With as far as bookings and interviews and obviously DJ work and stuff like that, man. But I'm still here. I thank God every day for an amazing family, amazing friends like yourself. And just man, just thank you for your time, bro. It feels cool that someone wants to interview, me, because I'm always the one that's interviewing other people.
Yeah, exactly, bro. It's just, you continue to do it and people will continue to flock to you, and it's even better that, we're close and we're good friends. We get to do this, but everything that's happened right now is a catalyst for great things to come, man. Keep spitting those gems, and I'll keep looking at your stuff on Twitter, and we'll keep talking.
Oh, and keep working, man. That whole Dream Big thing is amazing. I love that project. I love that project so much. I always watch your stuff on Instagram too when it comes to the meditation and stuff like that. Because I was like, you know what? It's actually good to take care of your mentals. Sometimes in life you get so stressed out that you don't take care of your mentals and stuff like that, man. And you put out lots of amazing content, and it's content that is worth knowing. It's worth people's time to get to know an article that was written by you. You put up an article, I want to say last summer, a really inspirational article. I forget what it was, man. You were like, guys, swipe up on my story, and I read it, and I was like, holy cow, like it just wakes you up, you know what I mean? Like, it wakes you up, and you're like, all right, it's time to get going. Because next year at this time, we graduated, and 6 months later, Uncle Sam's knocking on the door for the loan money. You know what I mean, bro? So
yeah,
we got to do it for our parents. We got to do it for our parents.
Exactly. No, I couldn't have said it better, bro. I appreciate you. Thank you for your time. And
I love you, man. Thank you, bro. Tell the family I said hi, and we'll definitely, after all this shit is over with, man, we'll definitely get a beer or something and just chill. You're 21 now too, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm 21.
All right, that's good. That's good to know. That's good to know, bro.
All right, awesome, brother. I'll talk to you.
All right, my boy. Be safe, bro. Much love. Thank you, man.